Hello and welcome back, everybody. As always, thank you for checking out this episode. Today, Manny reads Flash 771, and I gotta say, it's getting better. I'm very excited to say that Flash has been always my favorite. Lately, though, his comics have gone down. I stopped watching the show. It hasn't been good being a Flash fan for me at least lately. And this right here is changing my mind. Going into it, well, before I get into it, the cover here shows Wally West. Um, there's something going on in the background, like a huge explosion. He sees his kids. You can see the kids. I can't really tell who everyone else is, but it says right there, "Welcome to Sanctuary, where heroes come to heal." And as most of you know by now, he did not heal very well there, and he murdered his best friend. He murdered a couple of people. He murdered himself. So that's not a good time for him. And ever since then, it's been just a bad time for Wally. It's just bad. I don't want to say writing. The writing is good. It's making me feel horrible for him. It's just since he's one of my favorite characters, I don't want to see him go through back to back to back heartbreaks and stuff like that. So this here, while it is showing a heartbreak, this issue here is a step forward. And let me just get straight into it. Uh, in issue 770, uh, Wally took over the Reverse Flash as he was joining the Legion of Doom. And here we see that he is able to join because he took down Superman. And in this issue, we also see that the only reason he was able to take down Superman is because when Wally joined him or possessed him, I don't know how you want to say that, uh, that burst of Speed Force energy shot out and it hit Superman. So it temporarily knocked him out. Um, so he's there. He's confused. He's not sure what to do. Everyone looks a little bit different to everyone. To not everyone. To Wally. Um, Mr. Terrific hypothesizes that Wally is somewhere in the omniverse. This is the first time I think that I see omniverse, and maybe the first time I just paid attention. But what's the difference between multiverse and omniverse? I don't know if you guys know that. I don't understand. But omniverse, nonetheless, he's saying because there's infinite number of speedsters and not just like the current timeline, him going back and forth in the current timeline, their current timeline. Uh, there's an infinite amount of speedsters that Wally can possess, and this could possibly go on forever. Infinite amount of times. So they need to be prepared for that reality. Um, Going back towards Wally, everyone, all of the Legion of Doom, they're like excited about Reverse Flash joining. They immediately let him in. They say, "You took down Superman. That's all we need to do." And Luther is the only one's like, "I don't know. He's never done that power before. Can we really trust him?" Blah blah blah. And Flash Wally is able to reverse it back on him. And he's like, "If we can't trust anybody, it's you, Luther. I bet you he has files on everybody." And he kind of talks himself into a little bit. It's that era where everything's pretty campy and stuff. So like he talks himself into a corner, saying that's not on your file to Cheetah, and so she's like, "Oh, so you do have a file on me?" And so all the other Legion of Doom members kind of gang up on Luther, and it's at this point that Superman wakes back up, and Wally tries to warn him like, "Hey, you have Speed Force energy inside you. You're gonna blow up." But of course, he's in Reverse Flash's body, so Superman doesn't really pay attention to him. Um, Wally then he starts running away from like the rest of the group. We see everyone gets left behind. Superman chases him. Um, then he as he's telling Superman like, "Hey, you need to I need to release that Speed Force energy out of you." Superman mentions a power dampening ray that Luther used to get him there in the first place. Here he realizes, or Wally realizes, that he's in space. Lex is out in space with his own spaceship, and he breaks the window. So Wally grabs onto something real quick, and he asks Barry and Mr. Terrific, like, how long can a human survive in the void of space? And they said 15 seconds on average. And he also asked, if I die here, I'm assuming that the Reverse Flash dies, and I just move on to another body. And they said, yeah, yeah, that sounds, that's a good hypothesis. And that's all it took for him to just let go and go into space. And at this point, I'm just like, first, is this murder? Like you're willing to just die right here, because even if he's wrong, he's gonna die. So he's willing to just die on that guess. But smart, we know Wally is smart, and he's the best Speed Force user as we know so far. And so he lets go. He goes into space, and as he floats towards Lex's ship, he's holding his breath, I guess. I don't know. I think actually he's just vibrating the whole time. And it's just very lucky that he made it in that direction, because in space, you only go in that one direction. I'm sure he could probably like do some speed stuff to change direction, but he didn't. He just went straight to it. But he vibrates towards Lex's ship, and then he vibrates inside his ship, so he's able to breathe again. You immediately hear him like so that's cool. And that was really smart, honestly, just like very cool to see. um, then Lex starts yelling at him. He just basically just doesn't like Reverse Flash at this point. But Wally is able to get the power dampening ray from him, like, or how to use it from him. And he uses it on Superman, which is able to remove his the Speed Force that was encompassing Superman. And at this point, Lex is so mad that he's just like he's about to punch Reverse Flash, which is kind of dumb, because like even if whoever speedster you're about to punch, you're not gonna hit, right? Um, but Wally's like, you know what, hit me. I won't even move. It's just, this is a pretty cool, funny part. I liked it. I enjoyed it because he ends up punching the Reverse Flash. Like Reverse Flash comes into consciousness at the last minute. He's like, Luther, and he gets punched, and uh, and that's how that ends. Then Wally goes into another body, and back in Prime timeline. I want to say Prime timeline. Barry and Mr. Terrific and Green Arrow are still trying to figure out this situation out. Linda Park, Wally's wife, has been calling nonstop, and finally Green Arrow's like, "Have you not told Linda?" And he's like, no, like I haven't." He's like, "Well, you should probably tell her." He's like, "Well, you should probably tell her." And Mr. Terrific finally is just like, "I'll tell her," So he goes, he picks up the phone, and he cold, just to the point, doesn't try to sugarcoat anything or anything like that. He just says, "This is the situation. Wally's doing this," and then you don't get any speech bubbles from Linda, but you can kind of like really tell what she's saying. And some of the things Mr. Terrific repeats, he's just like, "Get someone smarter." He's not the smartest man, but he is up there. He's at least top 5, I think, top 10. But she's like, "Fix this, make it work, blah blah." And then he hangs up. He's like, "We need to get Wally home quick, or we're in danger." And that's pretty funny. I appreciate the humor there, because all this stuff, especially surrounding Wally, has just been serious and depressing and just beating him down, that I appreciate seeing some humor. So I like that. Um, the next body that Wally goes into is just a bunch. They just show like a montage basically of him going through Max Wallace from Teen Titans Academy right now. Some JSA guy that I cannot tell you his name, because I would assume that it would be Jay, but he already went through him. But if Mr. Terrific is correct, then yeah, it could have been Jay. And well, no, it looks like a Kid Flash, honestly. I can't tell you who it is. If you know who it is, please comment or send me a voice message on Anchor and let me know who it is. But some JSA guy, he goes into Barry from another timeline, um, and he just learns a lesson along the way, is that basically you have to continue moving forward. And as great as a message as that is, we've learned it. He's learned it. We had that whole mini series of Flash Forward, which has forward in the name. Like he has done so much to make up for Heroes in Crisis. Why are they continuing his lessons? I don't know what DC's doing with Wally, but I'm hoping after this his lessons are done. He's a hero again, and just just move on, make him who he was, you know. And so yeah, but he does learn a good lesson. And then Barry figures out drinking Green Arrow's nasty coffee. Barry realizes, you know what, maybe there's not something affecting the Speed Force externally. Maybe it's something inside the Speed Force and it's trying to purge it out, and that's why like the bursts have been so intense. And Mr. Terrific's like, you know what, that's a good idea. Green Arrow, of course, tries to take a little bit of credit there. He's like, you know, you wouldn't have done it without drinking my coffee. So, um, so they start figuring some stuff out. The next place Wally lands is within Jay, as he's talking to Irie, and this is in the future, about 20 years in the future, and it looks like it's within this current timeline, prime timeline. And this is my favorite part, like hands down, definitely my favorite part of the whole issue. She's grown up. You know, he sees that both of his kids are grown up. He sees that they're out of danger. Um, they're both beautiful. She's married. You know, successful. And the only part he didn't like was the fact that they are heroes. He couldn't shelter them from that, but that's not something that needs to be sheltered. That's their own decision, right? And she's basically just setting up a happy ending for him, and I'm glad to see that. Um, and then she, you know, she's Irie actually says that she's a better Speed Force user than him, possibly any Flash. So that's interesting, and I hope we go back and touch on that because I don't really know much about Jay and Irie, but um, I would like to find out, you know, without having to go back and read a bunch of back issues. But they also hint that Jay and the Gold Beetle are together, maybe about to get married, or maybe just, you know, in the next level of that. So that's pretty cool. And the last thing that Irie shows Wally before he goes on to another body is a, I think I think I because I couldn't really decipher it from just the drawing. They didn't really explicitly say anything, so this is just me assuming things. But it looked like a Flash planet. Honestly, it's just a big old circle with the Flash, like a Saturn ring, but it's in a lightning bolt form. It looked really cool, and if it was like a Flash planet, I like that. That's a pretty cool thing to look forward to. Um, if anyone else has any other guesses on what Irie showed Wally, please, you know, reach out, let me know, because it's interesting. What was that, you know? Um, and then, but Irie does warn him. Okay, you're about to leave. You're about to take off. It was great seeing you. This next part is gonna hurt and it's gonna suck, but just remember that you made it out, so it's okay. It's fine. And next page is the last page, and it's Wally. Basically, what you're seeing in the cover here, it's Wally surrounded by bodies that he killed in Heroes in Crisis, and I'm assuming that he's just gonna have to go through that one last time. And like I said, we've seen it. He's done it, but here we go again. Hopefully, it's the last time. But that's it. That's how it ends. To me, this issue again got me so excited that it's a 7.5 because nothing really happens. Other than which the reason that this is so high is because Jay and Irie, that whole hopeful future right there, it gives me hope for this run of the Flash because I'm really I'm really looking forward to it being a bright future instead of just depressing, beating down Wally West. So 7.5 out of 10. Lex punching Reverse Flash was funny. Linda just threatening a bunch of heroes and them taking it seriously. That was pretty funny. My only negative right now is the art. When it was art for different bodies that he jumped through, it looked great. It was different um, artists from the Flash's runs that I've noticed. Um, Colin was one of them, I think. Uh, but the main one, like when we're looking at Barry and Mr. Terrific and stuff, I think that's the artist that's on the title. And I hate saying bad things, negative things about artists because they're doing a great job. They are bringing a medium to me that I truly love, but I cannot vibe with this, especially like the cover. What I'm looking at is something about, I want to say, the coloring maybe. Um, it's just the texture of it. I just don't like. And to me, that's a negative, and that's the only negative I could really find about this issue. So Again, I'm not really hating on the art, and I'm not going to say that I'm better, but it is the negative. So that's it. That's issue 771 of the Flash. I definitely see it picking up and moving forward. So thanks again for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like if you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, or Anchor is the one where you can do voice messages, which I've never really played with, but I'm always willing to try. So, um, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.